was a teenage film snob, baby. I was a teenage film snob, baby.
Hey guys, welcome to Film Snob HQ. I'm James Chalmers, host of the I Was a Teenage Film Snob podcast, and we're trying something brand new for 2026. So if you've joined us here from the podcast, thank you so much. If you've jumped from Instagram, thank you so much. And if it's your first time checking us out, big thank you as well. If you listen to the podcast, we're fans of all movies, doesn't matter what shape or size, where they're from, how long they run, how old they are, if there's subtitles. We love them all. And we're doing some changes this year. It's normally been a weekly podcast, but for 2026, given that I've got a new baby boy, we're going to make it a fortnightly show instead so I can be around my family a bit more. But what we do want to do is try and utilize our YouTube channel. So if you've been following along on YouTube, you'll see some clips from episodes, generally from interviews I've done, things like that. But starting now, what we would like to do instead is do some more video content. So this will probably start officially in March once we're back from our hiatus. But for today, it'll probably be a January release. We're going to just go through some movies I like from 2026. So this is not my official top 5 or anything like that. We will save our favorite movies of the year 2025 for our return in March. If you think that's late, go check out Brett Goldstein. He doesn't do his favorite films until July. So this is more just some movies I think got overlooked. I've seen a lot of best movie lists over the last couple of days with the new year coming in, and there are some films that I haven't seen show up at all, and I think they've been omitted. So this is not so much my favorite 5 films from 2025, but more 5 films from 2025 that I think you should check out or give a chance. There are a couple of big ones, of course, and then there's definitely some smaller, lesser heard ones as well. What I'll do is I'll tell you a little bit about them. I will try to be spoiler free where possible, and I'll also let you know where you can find them. Now, obviously, based on my crazy accent, we're down here in Australia, so these are mostly Australian sources, but we also get less movies than everyone else in the world. So if you're in America, the UK, or Europe, you're probably fine finding these. So to kick things off, number 5, it's not really in a numerical order, it's just the first one on the list, the most popular film on the list. This might get a few eye rolls, but Fantastic Four: First Steps, directed by Matt Shackman, doing well there.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna.
Say it!
It's Cobra Time!
I loved this flick, but Marvel did not have a good year in 2025. I enjoyed all the movies they put out, but for whatever reason, the audience has kind of given up a little bit. They've turned their back. The box office results were significantly lower than they've ever been before. And Fantastic Four really did, I think, underperform through no fault of its own. I've watched that movie, I think, 6 times, a couple of times in theaters, a couple of times on Blu-ray as well. And I think it's fantastic. No pun intended. I didn't do that deliberately. But I think just the general audience has kind of been a bit disappointed with the output from Marvel lately and Disney in general. And so they skipped Fantastic Four. But then when people did catch it on streaming, they actually did quite enjoy it. Fantastic Four, a lot of people have marked the death of the MCU, which is what they do say about every second movie that Marvel makes. For me, I actually think it's a wonderful rebirth period. It's one of the few superhero films that doesn't end with a whole bunch of punching. I'll spoil it there. And it really focuses on that family dynamic. If you are a Fantastic Four fan, you should dig this flick. I hope you will. I adore this film. Pedro Pascal, I know a lot of people were a little bit frustrated by the casting because he's in everything. Dude's in everything for a reason. He sells tickets. And he is wonderful. He's a great Reed Richards. I really enjoy they focus much more on his brain power and his guilt around, kind of condemning his family and friends to their new reality. I know a lot of people critiqued the lack of stretching, but again, they're focusing more on the mind power of Reed Richards, and I think we're going to see more stretching as time goes on. And director Matt Shackman even said that they wanted to give it as much realism as possible. I know it's a guy who stretches. How realistic can it be? But anything you stretch does have a breaking point and will continue to get thinner and thinner and thinner as you stretch it, and that was their focus there. Vanessa Kirby is wonderful as Susan Storm. She's probably the standout of the film for me. I really, really like her. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, still the womanizer that we've known from the comics and the previous films, just a lot more relaxed, a lot more chill, and a lot friendlier. Ebon as the Thing. I'm not even going to try and butcher his surname. I wouldn't dare do it. He's a wonderful Ben Grimm. Julia Garner as Silver Surfer is excellent, and she has probably the most breathtaking scenes in the entire film. Every sequence the Surfer is in is awesome. And then, of course, Ralph Ineson as Galactus. And we finally have a purple Galactus with his big old horned helmet. So, a big fan of Fantastic Four. That's on Disney Plus right now. But if you're like me, you can get it on Blu-ray as well. Not in Australia. Disney doesn't print Blu-rays in Australia anymore, so you will have to head online. I like to buy from Rarewaves. This is not an ad because they won't sponsor me, but Rarewaves, really good for British imports. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 4 is a horror film. Last year was a really great year for horror. I actually find consistently horror does perform quite well. Whilst we do have, I suppose, mixed feelings about most genres, every year someone tells me it's the worst year in film. And if that's the case, then I just don't know. I don't understand it. But horror tends to survive, tends to do really well. And we had a really lovely mix of reboots, sequels, and original horror movies last year. A lot of people talking about Weapons. A lot of people talking about Sinners. A lot of people talking about 28 years later, but the one that's getting talked about the least, or one or two, because there's another one I'm going to mention, is Together, directed by Michael Shanks, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, and I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It's a romantic horror film, which you don't see very often, and when they do attempt to do a romantic horror film, I do find they lean too much into one or the other. Same with horror comedy, to be honest. I feel like they tend to lean to one genre more than the other. This, I think they really nailed it, and I think it helps that Alison Brie and Dave Franco are married and in a relationship, because that definitely takes some pressure off them having to try to love each other, because they clearly do. This is a body horror flick. For those who don't know anything about Together, basically a couple move to a new town because the Alison Brie's character has just started a new job. Dave Franco's still kind of finding his feet, and they go for a hike. They stumble into this cave, and they start to have this weird kind of like bodily sensation where they start gluing together. It is scary, it's unsettling, it's gross, but it's also strangely beautiful. And the last 5 minutes of this flick, so ballsy. Was not expecting that at all, and I really dug it. So if you haven't checked out Together, definitely give it a go. I don't know where it's on streaming internationally. In Australia, currently, it's not on streaming, so you have to buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. I'm sure you can get it on like Amazon or something like that, but I would recommend buying physical. I'm always all about the physical media. Next up is another horror film. This is from, I want to say it's Sweden or Finland. I probably should have done my research. I've got my notes, but I didn't look this one up. And it's The Ugly Stepsister, directed by Emily Blackfelt? Oh, I'm going to definitely butcher that name. I'm sorry, Emily. The Ugly Stepsister is a modern retelling. Well, I say modern. It was made in 2025, but it's set in like the 1700s. It's a new take on the Cinderella story, focusing on the point of view of one of the stepsisters, and basically how she's treated and how she has to live with this new girl coming to join her family, this beautiful Cinderella character, who's married into their family, and what it means to be the stepsister of, basically the equivalent of a princess, this beautiful girl. I was talking to a friend about this recently, and she was saying that this is not necessarily the stepsister's story, but more a focus on Cinderella and how traumatic she had it. There are no winners in this film. This is a film where both girls are victims. They go through horrible treatment from their family and people around them. Cinderella more through the psychological, and our stepsister through much more of the physical. Because it is set in such an old time, it's a pre-plastic surgery era, we do get to see things like nose adjustments, rhinoplasty, if you will, through much more barbaric and medieval torture, and there's good old tapeworms as well. It's a pretty gross film, but the performance is excellent, and it's a really fresh take on a film that's been told time and time again. So if you haven't seen The Ugly Stepsister, it is gross. It will make your stomach churn and get under your skin, but that's the point, and it's really worth your time. So go check out The Ugly Stepsister. It's on Shudder, I should say. Shudder, the horror streaming service. In fourth place is a comedy. We don't have a lot of comedies anymore. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast, and I've seen it talked about on social media quite a bit as well. Post-pandemic, it seems like the studios have lost faith in the comedy genre quite a bit. You don't see a lot of theatrically released comedies anymore. Most of them tend to go straight to streaming. Back in the old days, that would be direct to DVD or direct to Blu-ray. And it's a real shame. I think one thing that we could really do with right now as a general audience is more comedy, that collective experience of laughing together in a theater. Um, so I'm glad to have a couple of comedies on my list. So in second place, definitely one that's lesser known for sure, is a little film called Summer of '69, directed by Gillian Bell, starring Chloe Fineman from Saturday Night Live, and Sam Morello as well, who is more of a newcomer. And basically, it's a Fast Times at Ridgemont High style teen sex comedy about a young girl who's about to graduate, and she's very inexperienced. And before she leaves high school, she wants to try a few things, to put it, to censor it for YouTube. It's really funny. It feels really fresh, but also feels very familiar. If you like those raunchy '80s style teen sex comedies, like Last American Virgin, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I think this one's definitely for you. It's a good time. It's really funny. Chloe Fineman is fantastic. I knew she would be funny because she's been great on SNL for so many years, but this really showed us what she can do as an actor as well. Dan Morello as a newcomer is fantastic. Paula Pell's in it, Charlie Day. Gillian Bell shows up for a cameo as well. Slight plug, if you are interested in this film or you want to know more, I actually got the chance to interview Gillian last year. You can find it in our podcast feed. I'll post a link down below. If you do want to have a listen to that, you can check it out. But it's a really fun film. It's currently on Disney Plus / Hulu, so you should be able to check that out there. And the last film for my 5 less recognized great films from 2025 is one that I'm going to say most people won't have heard of. And that's not because it's not a great film, not because it doesn't deserve the praise, but this film is independent. It is a little Canadian film. It's not on any of the major streaming services. It does have a physical release direct from its website, but it's from a Canadian streaming service, which is available worldwide, called Highball TV. You can sign up, highballtv.com, and it's available, everywhere in the world. And it's a film called Paige Darcy, Reluctant Detective, directed by Matthew Campagna and Melissa D'Agostino. And it's basically the story of what would happen to Nancy Drew if she grew up and never unloaded any of her trauma, became a bit of an alcoholic, had some issues with drugs, and maybe some sex addiction as well. It's a really fun film. You haven't seen anything quite like this. You've seen similar things as a kid. You would have seen Scooby-Doo, you would have read Nancy Drew, that sort of thing, but you've never seen an adult take on it. And it's really funny. Andrew Fung from Kim's Convenience is in the film, the late Graham Greene, and Alice Moran, who wrote it, is also the lead. And it's a really just entertaining flick. Got a great soundtrack. It's a low-budget film, but you don't even care. You don't even notice it. As I said at the start of this video, we love all kinds of films here at I Was a Teenage Film Snob. But it's so effective that even those who can really notice the lack of money on screen will love this flick. And that's not a diss, by the way. I'm not saying lack of money. Like, it is incredible what they were able to do on a low budget. So I would 100% recommend Paige Darcy, Reluctant Detective. It's really fun, not for the kids, but definitely for all those adults out there. So just going through those films one more time, what I recommend checking out from 2025 and where you can find them. First up, we've got Fantastic Four: First Steps on Disney Plus. Go and check it out. It's really good. It's the best Fantastic Four film we've ever had, but it's also just a wonderful, fresh start for Marvel. It feels different, and I think setting in that new universe definitely helps. Next up, we've got Together, directed by Michael Shanks, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, currently on Blu-ray and DVD in Australia, probably available for purchase digitally, but if you're going to spend the money, just keep it. Ugly Stepsister by Emily Blackfeld. I'm so sorry, Emily, if I pronounced your name incorrectly. On Shudder right now. Summer of '69, directed by Gillian Bell. Remember, I interviewed her. Link will be down the bottom. And, of course, Paige Darcy, Reluctant Detective, available on highballtv.com. This is a relatively short video. If you know my podcast, you'll know this is unusual. We tend to go for hours at a time, but we're trying something a little bit different. So thank you so much for checking out the video. I hope you have seen some of these films. If you have, let me know in the comments what you liked. If you disagree, let me know as well, I suppose. But I hope you check out some of these films. They're all really wonderful. Definitely worth your time. Um, and just great to get some more, kind of lesser seen films. And I know you were rolling your eyes, you Fantastic Four. People didn't go. People did not go and see Fantastic Four. And I'm saying do it. I've seen it 6 times. It is my happy place. I feel 10 years old every time I watch that movie. Thank you so much for joining me in Film Snob HQ. We will be back officially in March. I'll try and do a few more of these videos between now and then, but we'll just see how it goes. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon.